I'm on a mountain bike touring trip in New Mexico. I bought this bike for $100. My rack fit on the back from my other bike. I've got the panniers from the street touring trip from last summer. Got the backpack here because I might want to do some hiking. And I just got off of the highway, which is a relief. It was 11 miles to this Devil's Canyon road. I'm a third of the way to my destination for the day, which is Capitan Mountain Wilderness. The main concern on this trip will be water. I thought there would be water here. This is Eagle Creek. I've got maybe 5 liters that I'm starting with. And I think I'll be fine if I can piece together the water location points. Here's a good thing to know. This whole valley is full of cow shit. I can smell it right now. Doing it. People dump coyote carcasses out here. I can smell it. Out on these forest roads, they kill the coyotes, the farmers, and whatever, catch them, kill them, and dump them out in these wild areas. And there were some really pretty flowers or something. Nest for sure. Big bird up in there. It's been pretty steep going here. I'm starting to push the bike. Man, that was some hard work. I'm on top now, and here's my destination. Capitan Mountain Range there. I might be going way down that way. Somewhere over there. And it's still a long trek from here. And then this way, we can see the mountains. Sierra Blanca, White Mountains Wilderness. Well, it's kind of cool now to put some of these pieces together, but what's cool is I think I can take this side road all the way down to the bottom highway, I hope. Man, this is incredible. It really is. It's gonna have to be this way on the bike to cover these long distances. I put on probably maybe 20 miles so far. Still got a ways to go. We're probably at about 30 miles today, and we're climbing again. It was a whirlwind ride down that Jeep road. Really awesome. Well, I made it to this camp area, Baca camp area, and there's no water here. So that's really gonna screw things up. I haven't seen any water. I've got maybe 3 liters of water, and that's only gonna get me maybe through breakfast tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna look around. It's a miracle. I don't know what creek this is or where it comes from. About 15 minutes later, there's a fence right here. Somebody's got some prime real estate ranch. This whole valley is a big ass ranch. And there's a fence right here. And it's like their property is blocking me from going to the wilderness, which is on the other side of their property. So I thought there were some trails, you know, up each one of these canyons. But this is a good find. There's my setup. I'm really impressed that I got here. I'm exhausted. It was 11 miles down, maybe 5 miles up, 7 miles down, maybe 12 miles here, back up. Let's see, I've got the sleeping bag. I'll try to get an inventory here. Here's another top layer. That's books and maps, food here, medical, emergency stuff, camera bag. I'm also using that small ATI camera, digital camera, pocket camera. That's actually right here, and I can just pull it out real quick. I started with 2 of these. There's some leftovers. There's extra clothing, rain gear, socks, underwear, rain gear, gloves. There's a book, pan and stove, fuel, coffee cup. We've got the backpack. It's empty. I brought that because I think if I can do it, I can day hike up to the top of that Capitan Mountain Ridge and camp up there. I've got 2 more days now that I have water, and I hope it runs all the time. It could stop for no reason at all. Inner tube, repair stuff. I've got my water filter in here. And that is all. That one, I don't know, let's see. Okay. Hydration tube, cargo net, tent holder. I've got the Sierra Designs Vapor Light 2. And I put the fly on inside out. Looks better this way, it's shinier. It's weird, the decal is on the inside, reversed. I've got the mountain bike, Specialized hard rock. No problems at all. It's a lot to pedal, a lot to push. Maybe it was the combination of the gravel roads. There's a lot of drag here with these big tires. You know, there were some sections that I was glad to have these tires. Mostly what I wanted was this more solid frame. That's it. Now it's dinner time. It's morning time. I got the coffee, cowboy coffee. The grounds are, I guess, brewing in that hot water in that cup. They'll go to the bottom. And I had some oatmeal. My usual morning breakfast routine is to boil some water, about this much, as much as that takes, and just a little bit on the bottom for some oatmeal. That gets me going. And on this trip I carried some bananas, so I'll have a banana also. And we're just gonna head down this Capitan mountain range and probably hike up somewhere over this way. Still, again, we're dealing with the lifeline of water here in New Mexico. This water is about the first creek that I've found, other than the major rivers flowing. Just about set to go. I filtered my water. I've got 2.5 liters in here, this bladder with the platypus hose. Works just fine. Alright, so I've got the tent inside the pad. One thing about this locale is there's always this dried grass that kind of gets everywhere. If it's in your tent, those little ends will stick you and bug you, make you itch. So I roll the pad and the tent up in the tarp, which I opened up. What I do is I fold the tarp in on itself from each side. I think this is an 8x6. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, so now when I roll the pad and the tent up inside this tarp, there's no way that's going to get wet. And so now I use this motorcycle cargo net to place this on top of the panniers and strap it on there. It's not your typical touring setup. I've used that on motorcycle trips, and so now here we are on the bike. I am a little bit disgusted in this place. There's free roaming cattle, and there's shit piles everywhere. There's even a shit pile on this branch. I think it's going to be a long day. I just left the main road. Those rocky peaks are over that way. That's probably 6 or 7 miles at least. I've chosen the earlier cutoff road, Pierce Canyon Trail. I'm going to push the bike back as far as I guess I feel like it. Switch over is done. Took a long time. I've been here over an hour. And the bike is over that way, chained up to a tree. We had a few sprinkles, and I'm going up this way. Well, I think this is an intersection of sorts. I came from this way, and you can always tell it's an intersection when there's cat crap on the boulder. Those are still moist, so I'm gonna go this way. Here the trail marker was burnt. I've got a feeling ranchers do that because they've got this whole valley almost under their control. Somebody put some stones here as a cairn. I hope they're not dead back there. It's turned out to be a nice wild experience. There's no people back here. Hardly any sign that people have come back here. Who knows? I don't know where I am, so I just think I know where I am. But I'm climbing up here. I think I'm going to look for a place to camp somewhere up here. There might be a basin, there might be a spring, there might be some water. It might be all like this. I just came from this way, and this is an obvious burn. Unlike the clear cut, you see here there's still some trees standing upright. There's water down there. That's great. But, oh, I see it now. It's beautiful. Springs all over. I think I'm just, there's no trace of anything else after that road. I think ends right here. And I didn't see any sign of a trail. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk up the edge of this creek valley, look for a place to camp and some trees, and maybe have some access to the water. That's my spot. Yeah, I worked my butt off today again, getting up here. It's got to be probably 9,000 feet. I just scouted up a little higher, found this old dwelling place, nothing but the imprints in the ground. I got the sun straight away right into the tent. It was nice. It's brisk. I ran down to clean my pot out at the creek over here, and my hands are freezing from doing that. It's a remote place here. I lit that candle just to feel a little more comfortable, and if some animals were wandering around, they would see that and maybe avoid it. Had some birds last night, like almost sounded like bats, but they had longer kind of squeaking noises. These birds, I think they're nighthawks, I'm not sure. Had some little owls, little tiny guys, like this. And actually one came from this way, and I imagine he saw this light and came closer. I was nodding out. It was a neat experience. Alrighty, today we're gonna pack up pretty quick here. I'm gonna start the coffee and breakfast outside of the tent so I can take the tent down. And by the time it's down and ready, I'll eat. And just for grins, I'm gonna go back down to that intersection that I contemplated 2 or 3 times which direction to go. Well, I came this direction. I want to go the other direction without the pack, just for a short while, to see where that trail goes. Here's a breakfast tip. You wouldn't know it, but there's a granola bar in there. This is just water. You can, if you get like a batch of like lazy, cheesy granola bars that aren't so fun to eat. I've got a breakfast mix here. It's just cereal, oatmeal, and some raisins, maybe some Raisin Bran. That just goes right in with a tiny, tiny bit of water after I make my coffee. And then that granola bar's in there also. So if you want a warm breakfast and you've got only granola bars, there you go. It's the second time I've hiked from that spring to this sign. It wasn't that far, and it's a little disappointing because if I'd have seen this sign last night, if I would have walked just one more small canyon to this place, I would have gone up this trail, which is looks pretty easy. The other thing is that I came here the first time only carrying this, so I went back to arrange a day pack because I'm going to go at least to the spring, which is 2 miles. I might climb up to the summit trail. I don't know. Here's my plan. If I go to the summit, it's 3 miles. 3 miles back is 6, and I probably have 3 to the bicycle. That's 9 miles. From there, it's kind of an easy downhill trek back to the first campsite where that stream is. That's my plan for the day, somewhat. And this thing here, that's a sad sight. That's like completely unpatriotic in my mind. So I'm going to hoist that beautiful flag back to its position where it should be. It's probably heavy. It's not going to go in here. My camp was on the other side of this small butte here. I'm gonna one up you. Might as well go up there to the top. I could lose trail very easily and have to turn back. I think it goes this way. Well, I'm out into a burn now. That's not that much farther to the top. Probably a whole lot of more work. You will lose the trail easily in a burn. Still got it, what you look for are cut logs. Here's another cut log. This grows back so fast. with grass and flowers and never kind of covers up the trail really fast. Been a lot of elk tracks. I'm really surprised I didn't see any yet. That's the male, I believe, eagle. I don't know what kind of big birds are up here. May have been a brown eagle, I don't know. It's a big one. I'm still on this scant trail. I can see it goes up this way. I gotta get her done. It's probably noon or 1 o'clock already. Going through this burn, I'm having strong animal scent come down from elk, probably. That's a fresh one. Could be an elk, but I've been fearing encountering a bear back here. It's hard to say. I think it's a bear pile. I found the switches here on the slope side in the talus. These were easy enough to follow. It's just a little tricky down there. I'm almost up there. Easy to find if it's in the talus and the boulders, because there's been a lot of effort to move these rocks. It was a long time ago, 50 years maybe, 40 years. This is really pushing my limit because I have to go all the way back down this and then hike to the bicycle. 6 miles. Gonna make it real crappy are all these rocks. Stepping on the rocks, it's all unsure footing and boot wobbles. Yeah, there's one sign. Okay. This is the ridge top. And this is the only sign of civilization up here, are these broken up signs. Now, I lost the trail right up in here and I came up in the grass. Fabulous up here. This is a little disconcerting. Oh, this is all the water I have left. And I've got a mile to go down, give or take, to get more water. So I'm just going to have to hustle. I'm going to rest up here, see if I can have a snack, and I'm probably going to have to switch and turn right around. My limit was 2 o'clock to get here and then start heading back. That gives me 4 hours roughly to get to the bike and get the camp set up after that. Well, I can say right now it was worth it. I'm not in horrible shape. I'm starting to get blisters from going up, but I think it won't bother me going down. Kind of got it figured out. This is like a 4 corners. The Ridgeline Trail goes right up this way. This one goes down. The Ridgeline Trail goes that way. And my trail goes down this way. But it's been years since they were maintained, and there's so many blowdowns up here. You'd go crazy climbing over these. To go 4 more miles or 3 more miles to the peak, oh man. Needless to say, I'm up here. 9,271 feet. Happy there's no storms today. Alright, time to go back. Big elk. I just had this great idea of using some old juniper trees that are dead, make furniture out of it, and call it Juniture. That's my retirement plan. Check it out, got the bike, everything's okay. The bags weren't bothered, there's some food in here. And I picked up the backpack down the way. And now we're gonna kind of like just coast out of here. I'm a little excited for that. Man, what a big day. Hiking down from camp, deciding to go all the way up to the top, back down. It was an interesting transition too, from day pack to the backpack and back to the touring setup. And this is back at the campground that I stayed the first night at, because the water's right over here. Just a different location. I wanted to have a little more sunlight in the morning, and dappled here as it set. Don't you step on that, buddy. No. Finally there's some sun breaking through these low light clouds. Man, what a weird morning. I am packing up now. My small pocket camera, I think the card is full, so I won't be using that anymore. I don't think I'll be using this much more unless something really exciting happens. It's just going to be a big bicycle push home, and the only thing that I hope I don't encounter is some wind from the west. With these clouds here, it's kind of a good sign that it's not going to blow straight away. I brought too much stuff on this trip. Too much stove fuel. I didn't need this. Too much food. I used to be good at that, and I used to cut it just right down to the line, man, but maybe it's better in the desert not to do that. I mean, there's no grocery stores around between here and home. Alright, it was a good trip. Yesterday was the bomb. That was a great day. Need to have more days like that.